Watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and check out the website to get the gear. The link will be in the description.
Voice music. From the land of the gang signs and blue rags, where we post up, never hesitate to blast. Where the weak don't last and the strong end up on the map. From the Golden State, where the real just be at. From the LA County, homie, where we know to bang. Shit is nothing growing up, you knew you had a back. Put it down for the vital, never will I rank. Ponte ducha all the time, you better watch your back. Cause she'll crack up, homie, yeah, no matter where you at. This is real gangster shit, only talking facts. It's the truth, ain't no lie, we don't need no caps. Just a Glock stolen whip in a Blesky mask. Shit is nothing busting hollers, we don't need a brag. From the
G-File.
Alright, starting off right here in the SGV, but I want to make this clear before I get started. No gaming in the comments, they will get deleted, because I already know how a lot of gente feels about this neighborhood. But like I said, real gang members don't bang on the comments, they will get deleted. Now, starting off right here in the SGV, we have the largest Crip neighborhood. This is by far the largest Crip neighborhood in this area, in this region. We have the Do Rock Crips. Now, the Do Rock Crips is located in two spots in the SGV. You can find them in Duarte, and you can find them in Monrovia. You know what I mean? Their neighborhoods are intertwined with the Hispanic gangs that are right there. So there's heavy animosity between the Hispanic gangs and the Crip gangs in this region. The Do-Rocks have bad blood with both Hispanic gangs, meaning Monrovia and the Barrio Duarte, where there's been plenty of casualties and bloodshed and mayhem and all kinds of carnage. You know what I mean? It be going down, you know. And Do Rock Crips, like I said, it is the largest Crip neighborhood in the San Gabriel Valley, you know, up to more than 200 members, I was told. Now, they're known as the Do Rock Gangster Crips because they are affiliated with the Gangster Crips, the gangster car, you know what I mean? The one that ends up rolling with the, you know, A-Trace, you know, the notorious, you know, gang in South Central. Now, they have two cliques. The Do Rock Crips have two cliques. They have the low ends. Now, the low ends are located in Duarte. That is their neighborhood, you know. In Duarte, that's where you can find the low ends clique. They're between California Avenue and Mountain Avenue and Duarte Road and California Avenue. So everything that's in the middle, which is a pretty good chunk size of territory, is considered their neighborhood, you know, in Duarte, where you know, it would be going down, where they get it cracking. And their second clique is called the High Ends, that's located in Monrovia, between the 210 freeway and downtown Monrovia, you know, north of Duarte Road. You know what I mean? And like I said, both of their cliques, you know, the low ends sharing the territory with the Duarte gang, and then the high ends, you know, sharing with the Monrovia. So that's how you get the heavy tension between them. And this neighborhood has already been around since the 70s. Like I said, they are the Gangster Crips, you know, so they roll with the Trace, you know, 3X. Right there, but they be holding it down, homie. These guys ain't no suckers, ain't no chumps, you know what I mean? They do get it on and cracking right there for the Rocktown, because that's what they call, you know, the locations. They are known to wear the Detroit Lions merchant, you know, as their symbols. And, you know, putting it down for the Do Rock Crips right there, still holding it down stronger than ever. Here we have another Crip neighborhood that's located in the SGV. Now this one is located in two different spots in the San Gabriel Valley. We have the West Covina neighborhood Crips. Now the West Covina neighborhood Crips is located right there close to Puentes neighborhood is where you can find them. Their neighborhood is what's from Fairgrove all the way to Francisco, and so that's Evanwood. So what's between Evanwood and California Avenue is considered their neighborhood. So by Greenberry, by Delvale Street, Glenshaw Drive. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered their neighborhood. You know, roughly just a small chunk of territory. Their neighborhood does intertwine with Puentes neighborhood. right there in that location. You know what I mean? Now they're not as big as the Do Rock Cribs, but they do have numbers. I was told that they're roughly around 150 members. You know what I mean? Because their second location, their second spot in which you can find them at, is located right there by Service Avenue on what's between California Avenue and Glendora. So that's from Blue Ash Road all the way to Service Avenue. So what's stretches out from St. Malo Street, Sandy Hook Street, you know, all of that. Christopher Street, you know, that's all their neighborhood, you know, is what's considered theirs as well. You know what I mean? Just on the opposite end of town, it is, you know, where you can find the West Covina neighborhood cribs. And they've been right here in West Covina doing it for quite some time. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no chumps, ain't no pushovers. Like I said, they may not be as large as the Do Rock cribs, but don't ever get it twisted. These guys are with the business and they handle business. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure you could tell from the name, you know, they are neighborhood cribs. Even though you could either see them up as West Covina neighborhood cribs, you know, which is the WCNHC, or you could also see them up as just West Covina cribs. It is the same thing, not separate neighborhoods. I know people think that they're two different gangs. It's the same gang, just different ways of writing it. They do fall under the neighborhood cribs, you know, so that's the Deuce, the 2X umbrella. And they are so located in several countries, not just right here. You can find them in Oregon, Washington, Nebraska, Ohio. You know what I mean? There's, you know, they got them, you know, spread out. So it's a lot more larger neighborhood as a whole. And they're also known because this is the neighborhood in which the rapper Swag, the one that signed to Jim Jones rap thing, is this is the neighborhood in which he comes from. He is a member, you know what I mean? So he's been putting it on the map, you know, for them. Now, their allies are like the neighborhood cribs, the East Coast cribs, the hustler cribs, you know, the West Covina hustlers, stuff like that, you know, and they beef it with the West Covina mob, Piru, obviously, and they beef with the Sousa neighborhood, you know. Like I said, the Hispanic and African American tensions over here are, you know, not at its best. But their main rivals have to be the Delmont Heights Bloods. Those are their, like, you know, enemies. But yeah, the West Covina neighborhood cribs right here representing for theirs and still holding it down, you know, and representing. All right, and here's the next sets coming out of this SGV area by West Covina and all of that. You have the Piru neighborhoods, which is only consists of one, which is the West Covina mob Piru. Now, even though the Pirus don't have a pretty, you know, they don't have a large presence, which within the, you know, Covina and that part of the SGV, they are located in different spots in the Covina area. So I'm gonna start with probably the one that is probably like the most, you know, largest one, which is the one that's located right there on Lake Ellen Avenue. So what's from Vincent to Arrow Highway, and from Arrow Highway all the way to Green Haven, and from Green Haven all the way to Eden Avenue. So everything that's in the middle, you know, of Lake Ellen Avenue is what's considered, you know, their neighborhood, which is pretty big chunk of territory, you know, Outcross Street, Bygrove Street, Groverdale, you know, all of that's what's considered their neighborhood, you know what I mean? From Malo Avenue to Chadman to Burwood to Coney, you know, and it goes on and on. You know, that's one of their spots that's right here in Covina, you know, where they're located at. And then their next spot of theirs would be on Workman, you know, because all of these are sub cliques of theirs, so they're broken up into clips but belong to, you know, one whole neighborhood, which is West Covina Mount Piru. Now their next location is right there, was between Roland Avenue and Garvey, and from Garvey all the way to where the freeway extends, so from Azusa Avenue, and from Azusa Avenue all the way to Hollenbeck. So that's their next territory right there on Workman, so all the streets that intertwine with Workman, so Eastbury, Hardale, Phillip Avenue, all of that is what's located, as a part of their neighborhood, which is pretty, decent chunk. And then the other clique you would find in the over here of theirs was from Badillo Street, I think that's how you pronounce it, all the way to Barranca Avenue, and from that I would have to say all the way to San Bernardino Road, and from San Bernardino Road I would have to say all the way to Glendora, which is a pretty large chunk of territory. You know what I mean? This is probably the another chunk size of territory of theirs. You know what I mean? We're talking about a whole lot of turfs and a whole lot of cross streets. You know what I mean? Of theirs. What's West Ridge was Benner Avenue, was Shady Glen Drive, Wanamaker Drive, Del Ley Avenue, all of that. You know what I mean? And then the next spot and final spot in which they are located at is going to be right there. What's from Barron's Avenue all the way to Covina Boulevard, and from Covina Boulevard I would have to say to Grand Avenue, and from Grand Avenue I would have to probably say to Hurd Street. So everything in the middle was considered, throughout Cypress Street was considered their neighborhood, so we're talking about Brokeport, Bellbrook, Benwood, all of that was considered their neighborhood, which, another pretty big chunk size of territory. They are the only Piru set that's located on this side, and continue to represent theirs and put theirs on the map. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no suckers, and they are, similar to the ones in Compton. They were the Minnesota Twins, the M, for Ma Piru, money over bitches, obviously is what it stands for. They're broken up into cliques, which is known as the D block, the P block, the Covina Boulevard, and the Workman Avenue is how they broken up into sub cliques of theirs. You know what I mean? And continue to represent right there and holding it down. And now right here, located in Altadena, which is right next to Pasadena, literally just right there. You have the Altadena Block Crips, which is the largest crib set and the only crib set on this side. Technically, this area is more Bloods, Pirus, than anything else. They are the larger ones, but don't get it twisted. The Altadena Block Crips are a large number. I was roughly told that they have more than 500 members, is what I was told. The Altadena Block Crips, the ABCs, is on the west side of Altadena. Their territory is from what's Fair Oak Avenue, stretched all the way to West Mountain View Street, all the way to west of Loma Alta Drive. You know what I mean? So what's Harris Street, Palm Street, Pine Street, that's their heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo. You know what I mean? They also claim Trace, so that's 3X. They're part of the Trace card. They are known to hang out on the Loma Alta Park, which is located on the corner of Lincoln Avenue and West Loma Alta Drive. They, like I said, they're the largest crib set on this side. You know what I mean? Next to, I know that there's the Pasadena Raymond Avenue cribs, but they're a little bit more smaller. You know what I mean? They're not as large or have, a big chunk of territory like the Altadena, block cribs do. But, they're cool with each other. So, they have the same common enemy, which is, the Denver lanes that stay right there. You know what I mean? Because they beef it with almost all of the, what's Pasadena Denver lanes, we're talking about the Altadena Denver lanes, we're talking about the Project Gangster Bloods, all of that, you know what I mean? But the Altadena Block Crips continue to represent theirs, hold it down, and still putting theirs on the map. Here we have the next crib set located right here in Pasadena, that is next in line when we're talking about the largest, like I said, next to Altadena, they're probably the only two sets over here. You have the Raymond Avenue Cribs. That's the RAC neighborhood, also known as the world famous Raymond Cribs. They originated out of the west side of Los Angeles, California. The Raymond Avenue Crips consists of 120 Raymond Avenue Crips and 102 Raymond Avenue Crips, as well as the Pasadena Raymond Avenue Crips. So that's their cliques, you know, how they're broken up into. So that's 120, 102, and Pasadena Raymond Avenue Crips. Now, the 120 Raymond Avenue Crips are located in the neighborhood of Athens. However, they do claim South Los Angeles, California. You know what I mean? 120 Raymond are the largest, and are the three of the Raymond Avenue Crips subsets, you know, that feud with the Denver Lane Bloods, you know, the Crenshaw Mafia gang, and a whole lot of, you know, other neighborhoods. Now, the 102 Raymond Avenue Crips are located on the west side of Inglewood, California. They share close allegiance with the 120, obviously, you know what I mean, you know, common enemy and stuff like that. But right here, because I know that people do see the sub cliques up and stuff like that and be like, hey, is this the same ones as the Pasadena? Yes, they're different sub cliques. But right here, we have the Pasadena Raymond Avenue Crips. They are located in Pasadena, which is in San Gabriel Valley. They are the second largest of the Crips, you know, because you have the Altadena, you know. And they do beef it right here with the Pasadena Denver Lanes Machine, you know what I mean? They're Raymond Street Hustler Crips in the city of Compton as well, you know what I mean? So there's different you know, Raymond Avenues that you're gonna see up there, you know, that fall under the umbrella of neighborhood Crips. So they do roll with like East Coast Crips and like rolling 40s and rolling 60s and stuff like that. They do tend to beef it with all the blood sets. But yeah, that's not to be confused. So that's 120 Raymond Avenue Crips, 102nd Raymond Avenue Crips, and you have the Pasadena Raymond Avenue Crips. You know how it is. Homies move, they establish. It's pretty much the get down. But this is the Pasadena one, and they continue to hold it down and represent theirs right there in the danger zone. All right, now here in Pasadena, we have the largest blood set in Pasadena. You know what I mean? These guys are the ones that, you know, rule with an iron fist right here with a big chunk of territory and all that. You have the Pasadena Denver Lane Bloods. That's that PDLB, you know, or, you know, PDL, you know, Pasadena Denver Lanes or Devil Lanes. You know, you can see it up either way. You know what I mean? You know, neighborhoods just have, you know, their own way of, you know, writing it. Now, the Denver Lanes in itself is a much older gang, you know, right there in South Los Angeles, located near South Los neighborhood, is where they originated from since the 70s. A large, you know, blood set. But this is their Pasadena clique, but they're all one whole neighborhood. But this is their Pasadena clique. You know, you already know homies, you know, move, establish, recruit, you know, the get down. And even though this is not their original birthplace and none of that, and it's just a sub-clique, it's large and it's with the business, homie. It's one of the ones that, you know, holds it down right here and rolls with an iron fist. They have up to more than 400 members, I was told. So it's a large blood set, you know, in itself. And that's just talking about the Pasadena one, not even including their other subsets, you know. So that already gives you an idea of how large this neighborhood is. And they have called Pasadena their home since the 80s. You know, is when they right here and established. Now, the territory is from what's Fair Oak Avenue that stretches from West Mountain View Street all the way to Orange Grove Boulevard. The heart of their neighborhood is what's Robertson's Park. That's their domain, their dojo. You know, where it be going down right there in those apartment complexes, Washington Boulevard. You know, it be cracking, you know, right there on Pepper Street and Howard Street and all of that, homie. That's their domain, you know, and going at it with, you know, the surrounding neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Because this is one neighborhood you definitely hear about, that you see, and these guys ain't no chumps, homie. You know, their reputation precedes them. They even have a clique right there in Altadena called the Altadena Denver Lanes. I'll cover them, you know, coming up. Like I said, you know, they're well established. They're even in the Antelope Valley, Temple City, Baltimore, Monrovia, Arcadia, all of that. You know what I mean? Well, Monrovia, they barely started to set up shop, but You know, like I said, they went to business, homie. You know, as a matter of fact, made the news several times, even for a Halloween murder in 1993. Like I said, homie, these guys ain't no suckers, homie. Now they do beef it with the Altadena block cribs, you know, since their territories are right next to each other, neck and neck, have been rivals for long time. You know what I mean? They seem to be. They also have another sub clique called the Project Gangster Bloods, you know, which is right there in Pasadena. But everything's all, you know, all good and dandy. You know what I mean? They mostly just beef it with Altadena Blood Crips and the Squiggly Lanes Bloods. But that's just how it rolls now. Like I said, the Pasadena Denver lanes right here keep representing it, holding it down, and continue to put theirs on the map. But that's what's up with the Denver lanes right there. Now here in Altadena, you have the Altadena Denver lanes. Now the Altadena Denver lanes, you know, the ADL is a smaller subset of the Pasadena Denver lane bloods. Obviously, you know what I mean. The Altadena lanes are located in the city of Altadena, which is on the west side, you know, or what's Mountain View Street to Fair Oak. You know, so that's their territory, their domain where they roam around. Now this neighborhood, obviously, you know, goes at it heavily with Altadena block cribs, you know, since they're neck and neck, you know, right there. They tend to literally just beef it with everybody right there, you know, the Pasadena Raymond Avenues, the Do-Rag cribs, Barrio Pasa, the Squiggly Lanes, the Gangster Bloods. Seems like, you know, just Denver Lane is probably their only ally. But the Altadena Denver Lanes, you know, represent theirs and hold it down, even though they're not as large as their much larger, you know, originators. These guys ain't no suckers, ain't no chumps, homie. They will get it on and cracking, homie. You know what I mean? Thinking that, you know, you gotta just roll through and, you know, set up shop. You know, you gotta twist it, homie. These guys will handle their business and continue to do so. You know, their reputation precedes them and they hold it down. But that's what's up with the Altadena Denver lanes right there, holding it down for theirs. Now, another neighborhood that you have right here in the Pasadena area, that is, you know, a neighborhood that you hear about, you know, kind of a lot, is the Squiggly Lanes Gangster Bloods. Now, the Squiggly Gangster Bloods neighborhood is what consists from what's Arroyo Boulevard all the way to, I would have to say, to Ventura Street. From Ventura Street, I would have to say all the way to Lincoln. And from Lincoln, I would have to say all the way to probably what's Mountain View Street. So we're talking about a large chunk of territory. You know, they're in the west of, you know, past Pasadena. You know, it's a large chunk of territory, you know, that they call theirs. And they went to business. Now, this neighborhood used to be once a part of the Pasadena Denver lanes. So obviously their Denver lanes are older than them, you know what I mean? Cause, you know, they were a part of that, you know, they were a clique, that ended up, just, you know, tired of how they were running the neighborhood. You know, they just didn't see eye to eye. So they broke off to do their own thing, you know what I mean? Do the solo bolo, which created heavy beef between the two neighborhoods, you know, with blood spill and all kinds of shit, homie. These neighborhoods don't like each other. They get it on and cracking, homie. And you know, and even though the Denver lanes is a lot older and you know, has more chunk of territory, whatever, the Squiggly Lanes ain't no suckers, homie. They ain't gonna let themselves, you know what I mean? The reason why they maintain still to this day, standing and holding it down for theirs, you know what I mean? But that's what's up with the Squiggly Lanes right there, the Gangster Bloods, the SLGB, and continue to still represent theirs, you know what I mean, for Pasadena and for their side. But that's what's up with them right there, holding it down and putting it on the map.